my friends. The night of the nights has come. The night of the nights. Open your heart and your mind. Move to the rhythm and dance into your own beautiful reality. Beautiful reality. Feel free and expect the unexpected.
Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Now, gentlemen, this is a scoop, an exclusive, some of the inside information on a matter of national security that has never been revealed before. This is one of those inside scoop that just needed to come out for the nation to know what had taken place. Now, most of us will remember that there was a gentleman called Wilfred Rattigan who had applied to become Commissioner of Police. Now, for those who came in late, I had done actually 3 previous videos pertaining to Wilfred Rattigan. 2 of them I did on my own, and one is actually an interview I had with the gentleman. And some of those were some of my most watched videos because the entire Jamaica was behind this man and his quest to become Jamaica's Commissioner of Police. Now, it has been said that he had never been shortlisted for the job on the 3 occasions that he had applied. However, my inside information that he had actually been shortlisted on one of those occasions, on the first occasion at least. Now, this discussion that I've had, this discussion was with a person who was up in the hierarchy of the People's National Party, who was the government in 2014 when Rattigan had first applied. Now, first of all, how did this conversation come up? As I said, this gentleman is somebody that I know very well, and we have a fairly good rapport. And of course, we were, at the time we were talking, one of the first things he was saying was, one of the things he started complaining about was, first of all, I must say that this man was not a minister. He was never elected to any post as a candidate, nor was he a member of the cabinet. However, he wielded some very significant influence in the party. He had the ears of the then Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, and he had the ears of the previous Prime Minister P.J. Patterson. And this was a man who meddled in the cabinet, though he was never a cabinet member, but he knew what went on in the system. And when we were talking, one of the first things he said to me was how the crime situation was out of control and the government was doing nothing to solve the crimes in Jamaica, and he was going on and on. Well, I looked at him in bemusement, and I watched as he spoke, and I just had this smirk in my face. I just looked like... And I waited till he was finished. Then I said, listen man, look who is talking. Uno never do no better when Uno did dead. So why you talk say? And at the same time, of course, I brought up the name of Wilfred Rattigan. And I said, listen, look at Wilfred Rattigan. Wilfred Rattigan have roughly 30 years experience in the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He was the head of the Africa, Asian and Middle East Operations Unit in Washington, D.C. He was also stationed in South Africa. And the man have law degree, him have degree in criminology and so on. And your government rejected him for Commissioner of Police and never even offered him the slightest opportunity to help this country. So who is you to talk? Who is any comrade to talk? That's what I said to him. And I'm not saying the JLP didn't do it because they rejected him after you did, but uno reject him twice. So how you going to talk when you could have had that man? Because remember, tell you the truth, Rattigan was my choice. And it was a choice of basically the entire Jamaica, well, the vast majority of Jamaica, and also those in the diaspora. So this was when the man said, brethren, I know how Jamaica feel about this, but let me tell you what truly happened. Believe me, it's not everything we can come out and say in the open, but I going to tell you what happened. You see when Rattigan first applied for the job, he was shortlisted. It has been said and it is going out there that he was never even considered, but that is not true. As an insider, I can tell you that Wilfred Rattigan was actually shortlisted among 6 people for the job the first time he had applied. I forgot what year, but I think that was 2014 because that was either this first or second time he had applied, but I forgot to ask him that. And he said to me, well, you see, as a matter of fact, Rattigan was about second or third in line as a favorite for the position. But would you believe me that about 2 weeks or less after Rattigan applied, we got an emissary from the State Department of the United States who met with the Jamaican authorities and told us that if we made Rattigan the Commissioner of Police, they would release 45 cars that we had asked them for. Remember, that at that time, we had asked for those 45 vehicles and they had committed to that 45 vehicles 3 years before. We were also supposed to be purchasing some Glock pistols from them and some armored cars, and they did not give us any assistance. We had asked them also to assist the government by clamping down on guns which were coming into the country. We wanted them to patrol and ask the U.S. Coast Guard to cooperate with the Jamaican Coast Guard in keeping guns out of the country, and we got no help. Even though we had signed several agreements with them to get the cooperation of the United States government. Yet, as soon as Wilfred Rattigan applied, they told us that if we made him the commissioner, they would release all those things that they should have been done that we had agreed on 3 years or more previous. To tell you the truth, instantly that was a red flag. Because remember, at the time when Rattigan applied, he was also still in the FBI. He had not retired, if I remember well. Now, guys, I'm just paraphrasing him. And of course, we started doing our due diligence and we realized that he had some litigations against the US government for some discrimination and all of that. And we were aware of that. But that was not really the issue. It was the fact that the State Department of the United States of America was so closely involved, had such a deep interest in wanting to see this gentleman become Jamaica's Commissioner of Police. He said that, well, as you know, the PNP and the United States government have never been and never will be the best of friends. We will cooperate with them, but we do not trust them and they do not trust us. Now, when they promised to help us with crime fighting for over 3 years and did nothing, and then this man applied and the State Department is coercing us and bribing us to put him there, there was a big red flag right there. And that was when he was removed from the shortlist. At the time, the government at the time felt that there was some ulterior motive and that Rattigan was being placed to act in such a sensitive position on behalf of the United States government. At the time, we honestly did not feel he was there to help the country, but just to be like a sleeper cell in the Jamaican government and to act on behalf of the US government, manipulating the system from the inside. So basically, it was that request from the US government which made Rattigan ineligible for the post. Now guys, that is a bit of a bombshell, because I had actually thought that the only reason why the PNP had rejected Rattigan was because they just didn't want to solve crime. But now I'm realizing that that is not true. But one thing he said which was true, there is no way, remember that the People's National Party was founded as a socialist party. And the US government was wary of them from the 1940s when that party was formed. Also, bear in mind that the PNP was never and will never forgive the United States government for what they did to Jamaica in the 70s. After they sabotaged this country and lock it down like a sardine pan in the 70s, we know the PNP was never ever gonna trust the United States government again. Remember that after Michael Manley took on friends that the US did not like, we can see what they did to him and this country. The United States wrecked it and then put in a government that they liked and helped to build it back. And the influence that they had over this country was enormous. Remember, Michael Manley did have to throw away the Cariba suit and throw away the bush jacket and jump back in a tuxedo and jacket and tie. Even though by his nature and the nature of the party, they didn't want to. But there's no other way they could have done without the United States jumping down them and stamp them into the ground again. So with such a history, there is no way they were going to trust a Wilfred Rattigan who, with the carrot and stick approach that the US was taking. But one of the things that came to my mind, and one of the things that I asked him at the time, wasn't it possible that the State Department was simply trying to sabotage Rattigan and that Rattigan was not really part of any plot? And he said that he wasn't sure, but at the same time, it was not a chance that the Portia Simpson Miller government was willing to take. As a matter of fact, he said that the litigations that were going on at the time between Rattigan and the US government were probably smoke screens to let the government of the day believe that Rattigan and the State Department or the US government were at odds with each other. And on that pretext, they felt that it was more likely that he would get the job. But then again, why would the US then come and vouch for him while there's a litigation going on? That would make no sense. Well, we don't know what the full reason is, but I am sure that this news will come as some surprise for Mr. Rattigan himself. And I'm going to be in touch with him, and I would love to get his opinion on this new revelation. I'll be bringing him on the program soon to hear what he has to say on this. So guys, look out for it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for visiting my channel. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.